Hello and welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Helping us out today as animal wranglers are Mark and his son Jonas, and our first guest is Faith. If you follow what's going on in the shelter on our Facebook page or by watching Pet Pals regularly, Faith might be a familiar face, a little bit bigger now. Faith is actually a dog that has been here. This is her third stay with us. She was Raven first, and then Mackie, and now she's back as Faith, and she's only 7 months old. Originally, we thought that she was more of a lab mix, but based on some different behaviors, we've learned that she is actually a cattle dog mix, and that was making her a bit high energy. She really needs a job, something to do, and she was just not working out in the homes that she was in because they didn't have the time to commit to her. They didn't have the space for her to run around and play. She doesn't really like to be left alone. So she's made her way back here, and we are adopting her out, this time only to a family with a background in herding dog experience, just so that we can know that she's going to get the activity that she needs. They really need jobs, whether it's frisbee or agility or something that they can do, some way to get out all of their energy. I had Faith out recently at a yappy hour, and she is very good with other dogs. She wants to greet them all. She greets them appropriately. She loves to play. She plays gently. She knows sit. She knows down. She does jump up, which is kind of a puppy thing, but she's very gentle when she does that. She's mostly like wanting to give hugs, and then she will definitely want to kiss you and lick you all over. That's one of her things. After a while, she does calm down, and she will just kind of sit next to you, and people were even, laying down cuddling with her. She'll put her head on your lap. She rides really well in the car. She's good at playing by herself when she's with someone else. So she has a lot of great qualities, but she does have that high energy that you're going to need to make sure that you're prepared for if you want to make her part of your family. Since she is a puppy and she does have those restrictions on who can adopt her, she is being adopted through our puppy process, which means that we'll take up to 4 applications for Faith, and then we will choose the best fit for her. That process has a lengthier application just so that we can make sure that everyone has a plan in place and kind of knows what to expect and how they're going to take care of all of those issues that might crop up if they were to make Faith part of their family. But if you are interested, you can stop in and visit her here at the shelter. We are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Shadow, and she is a 1-year-old pit bull mix. She might look familiar. That's because she is the sister of one of our former residents who was adopted, Sharpay. Shadow is here with her other sister, Raina, and they are looking, Shadow and Raina are looking for new forever homes. They are little pocket pitties. They're about 40 pounds each, so they're small. This is as big as they're going to get. She is full of energy, as you can see, and she's into everything. They don't know as many things as maybe some of the other dogs here. Like they don't really know sit, they don't really know stay. But all dogs, if you're giving them the right incentive, whether it's toys or treats, can be trainable. Since she's been here, we have gone ahead and already spayed her. So we won't have to worry about getting her on the surgery schedule before she could be going to her new forever home. She's very friendly. She's very outgoing. She reacts favorably to other dogs when she's outside. She's interested in them. Sometimes in the kennel, she barks and things like that, but only inside that kennel environment. She's easy to obtain. She's pretty easy to walk. She doesn't have issues with food aggression, and she loves to be petted. So she's going to be a nice dog for a family. She's a good size, so if you have younger kids, they're not really going to have to worry about her jumping up and knocking them down as much as maybe with a larger dog, like some of the other dogs that we've had on the show in the past, like Bruce or Colt or one of those guys. She will also be microchipped. She gets her rabies vaccine, her county license, distemper, bordetella, dewormer, flea and tick preventative, and a free well visit to the vet. Those are all things that we provide for all of the animals that are going to be adopted through us. And then that adoption fee for adult dogs like Shadow would be $92.50. That includes all the stuff that we've provided. If you are interested in visiting with Shadow, you can stop by and do that here at the shelter. We are open 6 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday the kennels are open from 10 to 5. On Wednesday and Thursday, they're open from 12 to 8. And on Saturday, they're open from 10 to 4. Our next guest is Jade, and she has got quite an interesting look to her. She's definitely going to stand out at the dog park. She is a 10-month-old hound mix. She's sable and white with ticking. She and her brother Gordy are here, and they're available for adoption. They are going to be adopted through our puppy process, which we talked about with Faith. That means that their adoption fee will be $150. We will take up to 4 applications and choose the best fit for the dog. And there's also a lengthier application that you'll need to fill out where you're going to talk about what your plan is for puppy training and what your experience is on that front. These guys did come to us as strays, so we only know the information that we found out about them here in the shelter. Based on talking to them and seeing what they know, we do know that they know both of them know sit, down, and paw. They're very friendly. They are excited when you come toward the kennel. They will jump and they will bark, which a lot of the dogs here do. They're so excited to see people that they, and the more excited you are when you're approaching them, they're going to get really intensely excited. So don't let that deter you from an animal. If you see them, even if they're excited and you're interested in them, go ahead and take them out of the kennel. A lot of times once they come out, they're very calm, just like Jade is being. They're very interested in people. They're very affectionate. So you don't want to just judge them by that first interaction when they're in the kennel. A lot of the dogs do not like to be in the kennels here. She is very easy to obtain. Like a lot of younger dogs, she jumps and pulls when she's walking. So harnesses are always a great idea for all dogs, but especially for young dogs and big dogs. She's very relaxed when you maintain eye contact with her. She really leans in and enjoys being petted. So she has a lot of great qualities, but she is still a puppy, so there will be training that needs to be done. As with all of the dogs that we have here, we don't guarantee that they're house trained, especially the puppies. So when you take them home, you'll really have to work with them on making sure that they understand house training and that going inside is not appropriate. Even dogs that have never had an accident in a house before, once they come into the kennel environment, they learn that it's okay for them to go in their kennels. So when you get them home, you have to retrain them and refresh them on this is no longer okay, we only go outside. So whether you're taking home Jade or any of the other dogs, make sure that you're prepared to work on house training and you're prepared for a couple of accidents in the house. Again, Jade will be adopted for that $150 adoption fee. If you're interested in making her part of your family, stop in and visit with her here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Our next guest is Princess. Princess is showing a much different side to her personality. She's very shy and very scared in the kennel. She doesn't like the loud noises, so she kind of hangs out in the back of her kennel, kind of looks sad. But as you can see, since we've brought her out into a quieter space, she has perked right up. She's jumping up in people's laps. She's wanting to be petted. She's very happy. Her tail's been wagging. She's been greeting everybody. So this is just another example of why it's really important to look beyond what the animal's reactions are to being in the kennel. Take them out and really get to know them. Princess is a 1.5-year-old Border Collie mix. She seems to know her name very well. Every time I say it, she comes right over to me. She was brought into the shelter because for different reasons with the landlord, the people who owned her were just unable to keep her. So they brought her to us so that we could find her a new home. Because she is shy and doesn't really like so many loud noises, we are asking that she go to a home with older children or adults only. Small children often make lots of loud noises. There are lots of quick movements that can be disconcerting for a dog who is shy and afraid of those loud noises. We're also asking that she is being adopted through our puppy process, which means we're going to do the same thing. Her adoption fee would be the $92.50, the adult adoption fee. However, we want to make sure she's going to go to the best home so that she doesn't end up back here. So we are going to do that lengthier application process and take up to 4 applications for her. Border Collies are working dogs as well. We don't have a restriction that she has to go to someone with that experience with that breed. However, it is beneficial because they are very active dogs. They like a job to do. They like something to do so that they're not bored during the day. Lots of toys to play with and things like that. According to the previous owners, she has been around other dogs. She's been around cats and actually lived with a cat, so she's used to that. So if you want to add her to a home with a couple of cats, she should be fine with that. She's very playful. She's energetic. She is a jumper, which we've seen a little bit, and she's a bit of a fence jumper. So you need to make sure that your home is set up so that if you're going to leave her out unattended at any length of time in a fenced-in yard, that she cannot jump out of that. Due to things that we've learned about her since she's been in the shelter here with her behavior assessment, she again is cautious with new people, but then once she feels comfortable, she warms up very quickly. She loves to be petted if she's comfortable with you. She doesn't have any issues with food aggression. She's got no reactions to the other dogs. She's just a wonderful dog and is going to make a great addition to someone's family. The last canine guest that we have for you today is Mickey, and Mickey is a 12-year-old Bichon mix. He came to us as a stray. When he first came, he had a much longer kind of matted coat. So since he's been here, we have had him groomed. You'll also notice that he has lots of little suture marks on him, and he's wearing his cone. Older dogs often have more medical stuff than younger dogs. So we recently provided Mickey with a dental, so his teeth were cleaned and anything that needed to be removed was removed. And then he had lots of little lumps and bumps and skin tags and things like that. So we also had all of those removed. So that's what all of these suture marks are from. Because he has a tendency to scratch on his head, that's why he's wearing his cone, so he can't scratch open those sutures that are on the top of his head. Despite everything that's happened to Mickey in recent months, he is still a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy. You walk by his kennel, he's always got his tail wagging, he's got a smile on his face. He's just a really relaxed, mellow dog. Because he is older, he's much calmer. He walks nicely on the leash. He's just looking for a nice, quiet home where he can hang out, relax, spend his golden years, curled up with somebody, watching TV, reading a book, getting some time on a lap. That's really all he's looking for. He will have continued medical care that's required for him, just like any animal, but with senior pets, it's often more extensive. We're transitioning him to a special diet because he has some urine crystals there. So that's something that you'll need to make sure that before you come in and decide, yes, I want to take on Mickey as my pet, that you really understand all of his medical information and that you're prepared to take that on emotionally and financially as well, because pets are a financial commitment. A lot of people assume that, well, I have the adoption fee and that's kind of the end of the line. No, animals can cost an owner yearly up to approximately $1,000 between food and vet care and toys and going to the groomer. Because Mickey is a Bichon, he will need grooming on at least every couple of months, getting his hair trimmed, just because matting can be very painful for any animals with those longer fur coats. So you got to make sure that you're prepared to take on all aspects of being Mickey's owner. If you are interested in making him part of your family, again, stop by and visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. This is going to wrap it up for this portion of Pet Pals. If you stay tuned after the break, we're going to show you some cats that are in need of loving homes as well.
Frederick Green Homes Challenge is now online. Visit frederickgreenchallenge.org to sign up for a free account and start saving energy, saving money, and reducing your environmental impact. Learn about actions you can take from small to big, like upgrading your light bulbs, using water-saving devices, or installing a renewable energy system. Add actions to your to-do list, earn points for completing actions, and track your savings, all online. You can even post your story and learn from the experience of others. To get started, visit FrederickGreenChallenge.org and click Take the Challenge.
Welcome back. Our first guest is unfortunately an animal that's been at the shelter before. This is Dove, and she is 11 or 12 years old. She was with us back during the winter, and she was adopted to a family who wasn't working out with that family, so then they gave her to their parents. And then after about several months, they decided that that wasn't working out either. Dove wasn't getting along with the other cats in the house, so they brought her back to us, where we're hoping to get her into a nice forever home where she can spend the rest of her life. Dove originally came to us as a stray, and when Dove is happy and when she's scared, she purrs, and her purr is very unique, very loud. Oftentimes you will hear Dove before you see her. In fact, this morning when I was walking through the adoption floor, I heard her before I saw her. I didn't know she was out there yet. And sure enough, there she was. That is actually how she got her name, because she kind of sounds like a cooing dove a little bit. She is a beautiful medium hair orange tabby. She is a little matted right now, so that's something that we would try to clip those out, but medium hair and long hair cats do require more grooming. You have to brush them more frequently so that they don't get those mats. They can be very painful. And really bother the cats. Dove is shy in the shelter, so it will take her a little time to warm up to new people, new environments, but she would do better in a kind of quiet, calmer setting. Really all she's looking for is a nice lap to sit on and to be petted. That's really all she wants, not too much. Because she is an older cat, just like Mickey is an older dog, they do have more health needs. Just like people, as they age, they require more medical care. She's likely going to need to be on a special diet. She might require regular urinalysis. So that's something that is going to be a financial commitment for anybody who takes on Dove. We are working with the Humane Society, so they're going to provide some funds for Dove's medical care once she is adopted. That program, the Humane Society then gives the money to the vet that you've chosen so that they can pull from that for her medical care. And as the weeks go forward, we will start talking more and more about that program in relation to Dove. And again, because she is over the age of 10, she would be adopted for that $40 discount, making her adoption fee $57.50 instead of the normal $97.50. If you're interested in adding Dove to your family, you want to hear that amazing purr throughout your house, stop in and visit with her today. We have two princesses on the show for you today. This princess is one of our cat residents. She's a year to a year and a half old. She's just a beautiful gray domestic short hair. She came to us previously owned, but the people who had her, they were caring for her for 2 weeks. When someone has been providing food and shelter to an animal for 2 weeks, we consider that owned here. They found Princess as a stray, and they kept her for 2 weeks, but she wasn't getting along with the other cats. She was being aggressive with the other cats, so they brought her to us so that we could find her a more suitable home. Sometimes it's not an issue that they don't like any cats, it's just that they don't like certain cats. So, you know, it's not that we're saying that she can't go to a home with other cats, but we just want people to be prepared that she might not do well there, she might not thrive. She would do best as an only cat. Princess was living in that time period with dogs, so if you have a dog and you're looking to add a cat, that would be more in her wheelhouse, so to speak. She would prefer to be friends with a dog than another cat. She's very friendly, she's playful, she's content sitting on a lap. One of the things that I've noticed about her here at the shelter is that she loves her cat bed. She sits on it like it's a throne. She spends most of her day there, kind of rolling around. Sometimes she hangs half out of it. She's just kind of silly, but she loves to spend time in her bed. It says that she likes to play with toy mice. She's really a fan of wet food and feather toys. So if you're you want a cat that's still very, very playful, but you're not wanting to take on a kitten, because kittens are a lot of work, then Princess would be a great option for you. She's still very, very active, but she's going to be more mellowed out, not as much late night play, not as needy as, say, those kittens, but can still provide you with all of that fun playtime. And you kind of know more what she's going to be like. She's fairly relaxed. She's curious about all the noises that she's hearing here, but she's not super interested in trying to get down. She's happy being on a lap, being petted. So she just is a well-rounded cat with a well-rounded personality. If you're interested in taking her home, stop in and visit her here at the shelter. Again, keeping in mind that she might not get along with other cats, so she would probably do best in a home where she would be a princess and the only cat getting all of your attention. Ophelia is our next guest, and she is a petite little tortie with white. She is approximately 2 to 3 years old, and she's another animal that made her way to us as a stray. So we only know what we're learning about her here in the shelter. If you're visiting with her, you might notice that she has kind of a razor shave mark down her back. Oftentimes when the animals come in and they're matted and things like that, we go ahead and shave those off just to make them more comfortable. She is an orange card, meaning she pretty much does what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And since she's been out of her cage, she wants to get down and explore and see what's going on. There's a lot going on in this room, more than usual. We have some kittens that are in here that are living in here right now. We have turtles with the filters going. So there's a lot of stuff to take in, and she's kind of looking at all of that stuff. When you see her in her cage, she does come up to the front and she greets people. She seems to be enjoying all of the playtime and affection that she's been getting from volunteers. She is not one of our escape artists on the adoption floor. She just seems to be very sweet. And one thing about torties is that torties are almost always female, like 99.9% female. And torties, calicos, and torbies are known for being kind of the divas of the domestic cat hair, cat breed world. So torties in general can be a little sassy. They can have a little bit of tortitude. So if you're looking for a cat that's maybe a little feistier than some of the others, then torties are a great thing to look at. Not only do they have beautiful and very distinctive markings, but they have big personalities all the time. In my experience, the torties that come in, they definitely have that very sweet side to them, but they can also be a little sassy, which a lot of people like. So if that's what you're into, stop in and visit with Ophelia. Just like all of the animals that come in, cats, dogs, rabbits, we make sure that they are spayed or neutered before they leave. The cats and dogs get rabies vaccinated, their county licenses, they get their distemper vaccines, dewormer, flea and tick preventative, they're microchipped, and we also provide you with a free well visit to the vet. So you really can't beat what you're getting for the price, and also you're helping to give an animal a nice, loving home, getting them out of the shelter sooner rather than later. Ophelia is a very recent resident, so she hasn't been here for very long, but it would be our hope that we could get her out before she starts becoming one of our longtime residents. You can visit with her here at the shelter. Again, we are located at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Sandy came to us as a stray, but because she was microchipped, we know that her name is in fact Sandy. So, that's what she's been called. That's what she's used to. So that's what we've kept for her. Sometimes animals are microchipped, so we're able to get information, but for whatever reason, owners don't come forward, or the information has changed. So people move, they change their phone numbers, and then they don't update the information on their microchip, so we can't get the animals back where they belong. It's very important anytime that you're making major changes that you update the microchip company, so that in the event that your pet does get out, whoever finds them is able to get them back to you as quickly as possible. Microchips are only a second line of defense. The primary line of defense is always a collar with identification on there, some sort of tag with your address, your phone number, something that if people find your animal, they can call you and let you know where they're at. With cats, it's very important that if you're putting collars on them, you're using breakaway collars. With our dogs, we want the collars to stay on them at all times. But because cats climb over and under, they love to get into small spaces. If they get caught with their collar and they're not able to break free, it can often choke them, and that's a horrible, accident waiting to happen. So that's why we always recommend the breakaway collars. If there's any pressure put on that, the collar just pops right open and the animal can walk away free. Because Sandy was a stray, we don't really know much about her. What we know about her so far is that she is a little overweight. So if you're taking Sandy home, you want to make sure that you're getting her on a diet and getting her down to a healthy weight so that she can live a long, full, happy life. At 3 to 4 years old, she has a lot of life left to live, and we want to make sure that she is able to do that and be happy and content. She also has a little kink in her tail, so that gives her a little bit of a personality trait, a little quirk that makes her special. If you're interested in figuring out what personality lies beneath Sandy's beautiful brown tabby coat, then stop in and visit with her. We are open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. The last two guests that we have for you on the show today are some of our kittens. These guys are 4 months old, and they are from the pirate litter. So all the cats in that litter were named after pirates. So over there on Mark's lap is Blackbeard, and he is appropriately named because he has a little black goatee. And then over here, this is Jack Sparrow. These guys are, again, 4 months old, and they are just a few of the black or black and white cats that we have available for adoption. August 17th was Black Cat Appreciation Day, and at that time we had 19 either all black or black and white cats that were looking for forever homes. Sometimes the black cats get overlooked. Sometimes people don't want to take them on because of superstitious reasons. People think they're bad luck, and sometimes they're just they don't stand out. They're harder to see in their cages. There's fewer markings that make them stand out, make them more desirable. There's nothing distinctive about them, but they all have great personalities, and a lot of the black cats that we have available right now are actually kittens. We have, I want to say, maybe a dozen black or black and white kittens available right now. All the gray ones are going, all of the torties and torbies and all of those types of kittens are the tabbies are all heading out, and these guys are kind of hanging out for a while. Their personalities are just as great as all of the others. They're just as playful and feisty and rambunctious as any of the other kittens, but for some reason they just kind of have been hanging out. We want to make sure that these guys get to grow up in nice, loving homes with people who are going to play with them and cuddle with them. We don't want them to spend their whole childhood here in the shelter. So if you're looking for a kitten, stop by, especially if you are a black cat fan, because we have many, many to choose from. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Pet Pals. We want to thank Mark and Jonas for helping us out today, and we hope that you will tune in next week to see what animals are looking for their forever homes.